There. Good morning,
Hello,
everybody, or happy time zone, considering where all
hello,
of you are.
everybody.
Welcome to Streaming 101. I am the Chimera, the host, Lathan. With me is Dan, Game Z, and Author Goddess. Yay!
Hello. Whoop whoop.
So let's see here. If you have questions anytime during the panel, redeem in the channel points. You can redeem for one little measly point a question, and that'll make it easier for us to see those. Um,
We also love questions, so you can ask us any question. Doesn't mean you're gonna get a good answer though.
Stump the host. Stump
Stop
the
the
host.
host.
yes.
Stop the host.
Let's see. I am Geek Gamer Mom. I've been around for a while, um, but I've been missing for the last like 6 months or so because of my back. And I don't know what else to say. I'm the web mistress Shadow Dragon for Writers CONduit. I've been helping people with tech issues most of my life. Because you know that one person in your family that when you have tech issues to go to? That's me. All right, so Dan, you want to say anything?
Cool. So I'm Dan. I live in the UK. I'm also known as Games GM or Games. I answer to most things, to be perfectly honest. It normally goes, "Hey, oi, you." Uh, that's normally how I get addressed. Um, I am the legal guy for Writers CONduit. I am a black dragon. The only reason why I picked black dragon first, that's the miniature I recently painted, and two, they're cool. They spit acid. Who would not want to be a black dragon? That's basically me. And in terms of streaming, I'm a variety streamer. I've taken a little break from streaming, but I will be coming back very shortly. And day to day, in terms of streaming and tech, I work with a number of tech firms. I'm actually the vice chairman for the Royal Society of IT here in the United Kingdom, and have been streaming for a number of years. So hopefully we'll be able to answer some of your questions and at least get you started on that 101 course.
All right, Author Goddess, you want to introduce it yourself?
Hi, I'm Author Goddess, aka Sarah B, and uh, I am a copper dragon. I was given that title because apparently I have a tendency towards snarkiness or something. I don't know. I have no idea what these people are talking about.
I love that the closed
And
captioning said smokiness.
yes, it's mysterious. Yeah. And I've been streaming for 2 years now.
I was going to say,
Thereabouts.
are there that number of years available?
I don't know. Are there? I feel like I've lived through more than 2 years. But yeah. So I've picked up a few things. Hopefully it'll help.
There's that. Everybody can see the.
So that's a little bit about myself and author goddess Sarah. You've got our links there. Obviously, you can see more there, which gives you a little bit more of a background. But stuff I didn't touch on is I was a musician, so I will be joining Story Girl or Gemma, an Australian streamer, in a couple of hours' time, and we'll be looking at the music soundtrack to writing, which I think will be really interesting. I am also what they call atypical in the sense of I'm neurodiverse. So for my sins, I must have been Jack the Ripper in a former life or something like that. I'm autistic, dyslexic, um, and a raging homo. So you know.
Be careful with the
Things are
language.
always things are always more fun when you're raging. I mean,
Oh man. All right, so things we're going to be covering. Um, we're covering, basic setup for uh how to get streaming, how to get started streaming, and we're going into the technical stuff of this. Writers can stream. I suggest that you also watch the Twitch for Writers that's later in the day by Fantasy. She's going to go over the pros and cons of streaming as a writer and why to do it and all that stuff. We're covering the mechanicals, the tech issues, and we'll touch on a little bit of some of the reasons why, but yeah.
I'm all Vanna White over
And
here.
I think ultimately the first thing is things go wrong in tech. Tech is
Yes.
a thing that just gremlins crawl in and decide to have fun with.
And we'll go over some resources to help you get started. If you have any questions, I said this before, in the channel point redemption is a single 1 point question for Writers CONduit. Please feel free to use it. That will help us uh, know what questions we have to go through. And please ask your questions. If you have something that's going wrong, um, like I spent time last night helping Amanda Panda get her OBS to work on her mom's Mac. This is what we like to do. We like to help people.
Which we, I think, swiftly worked out that Mac and OBS have a very interesting relationship.
Yes. OBS setup is the first thing.
So, the tool I know I use and a lot of streamers use is OBS Studios. It is an open source platform that ultimately allows you to capture a load of sources and you can start streaming from it. And yes, it does have a little bit of a learning curve, but why perhaps we would recommend this tool over things like Streamlabs or other tools is one, it's open source. There's a lot of plugins, there's a great community surrounding it, and honestly, it's really, really easy. Ultimately, you can just go into File and set up your streaming. You log in like you would log into anything. If you were just logging into Twitch right now, you type in your user credentials in OBS, it will log you in. It will automatically be able to start streaming. You can add a camera, add a mic, and you can stream. Like, you do not need all the fancy graphics and widgets. And I think that's probably the first thing I would say is don't let the don't let perfection be the enemy of good. You don't have to have all of these amazing transitions that Ninja has or other partnered streamers. Everyone starts from somewhere, and just having a chat and even just running stuff and going on the fly,
And
you'll work
realize,
it out.
yeah, and realize too that those very professional and slick layouts that you look at, those are usually paid for. So if you're doing this on your own and you're just starting out, don't worry about it. Get your basics set up. I mean, you don't even need a webcam to get started, really. Um, you just need OBS or something affiliated. It's not anything else like it. There's Twitch Live, um, other things, and we'll cover what those are.
but you don't even need a camera. So right now, and I've done this actually for demonstration purposes. So when I stream, I do use my face. But say you're not comfortable with your face, um, you can use an avatar. I'm currently using a tool called Animes, and it is an avatar that tracks you. Literally, I am moving, and my avatar moves with my facial expressions. Um, and it is completely free on Steam. So if you're a little bit shy, you're not sure about your face, all of these things are really simple to set up, and we'll actually show you very briefly today how to simply just set up. Even one of the questions I know I get asked a lot is, well, how do I get my mic in OBS? Like, do I need to add it as a microphone? You can just do it as a default within the settings. It is very easy to get set up in OBS, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't, back my last dollar on it, but I know most people in World Anvil, ASC, I think Twitch Writers, OBS Studio is the platform they use. It is a tool that doesn't just do streaming. You can use it for recording. So if you want to do YouTube videos, you can record to your computer. So it's a really versatile tool, and has, on the face of it, really easy. And you can delve into it, such as your FFP rate if you want to stream at 30 or 60 and all these kind of things. But that's getting into detail.
I don't even mess with. I just use a lot of the default settings myself. All right. So we're want to go more in depth on OBS setup.
Yeah, do you want to do that, author goddess?
All right. Okay, so OBS setup. One of the things that I would absolutely recommend is if you have any of the elements downloaded, so you go into a thing and they're like, here's your background package and, your stream overlays and everything like that. You can download those immediately in, and I would recommend doing that. But the one thing I would recommend above anything else is use the studio view. And the reason for that is you can play with how your scene looks without actually changing the scene. So if you happen to be live, then you can make those changes without everybody seeing you fumbling around trying to get that thing in the right place.
Like me moving this around and whatnot.
And I'm going to preempt a
Yeah.
question. How do I get
Um,
into Studio View?
How do you get into Studio View? Okay, so it's not Studio Move. Here, let
is studio mode. Yes.
Welcome to my OBS. Yes, it's going to go into infinity.
Woohoo.
Down here in the bottom of this corner where you have your streaming and recording and whatnot, there's this one thing called Studio Mode. You
Yep.
click that. Over here where it says Program, that is what you're airing live. Over here on Preview is where you can mess with things, and notice it's not, I can move this all around and it's not messing with it on air. And you can go pop out of it and in and out as you see fit.
Yeah. Honestly, the first thing I did was I went in and I looked at the way that you could set up your studio, because you can literally set it up how you want it. So, what situations you want visible at all times on your control panel. And I just played around with it, seeing what each thing was and where I felt comfortable having it. And haven't changed it since, so I must like it. But one of the things I really like about OBS is it's just intuitive enough. Like, I wouldn't say it's the most intuitive platform I've ever used in my life, but it's just intuitive enough that you can play with it. You can you can kind of figure out what's going on, and everything else you can Google. I'm a big fan of Google.
Okay, question. We have, how good of an internet connection do you need to stream?
That can be a really hard one. I'm happy to take it from a technical lens. I would say the main thing you need to worry about when streaming is not your download speed, it is your upload speed. It can take, so I wouldn't be running this on a limited network. So if, say, for example, you're with a supplier and you only have 500 megabits for a month, streaming probably isn't for you right now. But if you've got even just a basic package that gives you 30 megabits, 60 megabits um, from your ISP, internet service provider, you will be able to stream absolutely fine. You do not need a gigabit broadband just to be able to stream. Ultimately, I would probably say, as an educated guess, as an IT professional, I'd say the minimum is probably 15 to 20 megabits per second and streaming at a very low quality. And obviously, higher the quality, more little pixels you're trying to send over the internet, more you try and send, more you're going to need to be able to upload. So you can control that again in OBS in the sense of the quality you want to stream in, the size you want to stream in. We're currently streaming in 1080, I believe. But you don't have to stream in 1080. It's quite common for people to do 720, even 480.
And that's perfectly, especially if you're just doing your writing on stream, you don't have a webcam, you don't have a lot going on. It's very simple. You don't need a heavy connection. Um, Mine, I'm able to do 1080p because I've got a fiber line and we've got ridiculous amounts of upload and download and everything. But
If you're
it's
not sure
all,
what your upload speed is, I'm going to post a link in chat. There's a test called Ookla. It is actually a government-run one here in the UK, but it works all around the world, and it will tell you right now what your speed is. It will do a speed check.
oh, look at all the ads. Yay.
Woohoo! Come on, faster, faster, faster.
Go, go, fiber connection, go.
Like, to give you an idea, that is amazing. My megabits per second is about 30 to 60. So it gives you an idea that the fan has amazing broadband. I have a lot less, and there's no difference. And I can still have the fancy stuff if I want it. So don't let broadband speed be the thing that stops you. You will work out. And within OBS, there is actually a tool that tells you when you're dropping what is known as frames, i.e., the little sections of the image you're sending. And if you're dropping a few, first thing, just drop down your quality, and it will probably be better.
Yeah. And as you probably noticed too, while I was running that speed test, our frames dropped and it got garbled and whatnot. That lets you know that if you exceed that, what your upload speed is, that's what causes, and you can know that if this is what's happening on your stream, then maybe you need to lower your settings a bit.
And another thing that I found extremely helpful, especially in certain areas of the US, and I'm sure it works this way in other countries as well, check your server. Check which server you're going through. The default is usually okay, but there are some places where the closest server, no, it's just going to be bad. Um, Generally, there's I don't remember where it is because I Googled it and then I watched a video and then I followed the instructions on the video. But you can look at the servers that are near to where you're at and it'll rate them in order of which one is like the best or something. And there's like this one number that you look for, and whichever one has the highest number, I think it is, that's the one you want. So it's worth looking into that into changing which server you go through for OBS, just
Okay.
to make sure you're actually getting the most stable connection you can for your area.
So we have a question about how do you lower your settings? I'm going to pull this over and cover
So
our faces for a little bit.
you can go to File, Settings, and within OBS, within File, within Settings, you can go to Output. And within here, you can see a load of information that has your video bitrate, your audio bitrate, so you can change some stuff there that will help. But you can also go into your video within, again, that file area and change your base canvas resolution to a lower resolution. You can also change what is known as your common FPS value, which is frames per second value. That may be either 30 or 60. 60 is normally the highest you can be at. 30 is pretty good as well. So a lot of streamers do 30, so you can change that in there, and that will change the way you have quality. I would always recommend when doing any so what you're doing on your computer is rendering, and within your settings you have the option to use CPU or GPU. You should always use GPU where you can. That will help and support um, a more consistent rendering profile for your stream.
I still have that set up. Hey, Brian. I, I forgot I had that set up on my.
I just realized we forgot one thing. We forgot our fabulous raffle.
We did. Let me get this started. So, Author Goddess and Games, do you want to explain what a raffle is and what we're doing?
Over to the Copper Dragon, the master of the horde.
Okay, so no matter what you use to stream, right now we're talking about OBS, but there's the other options as well. But no matter what you choose to stream, you want to get really friendly with your Twitch dashboard. And that includes, in a lot of cases, Stream Elements. Stream Elements is going to give you most of your fancy schmancy stuff. That's the bots, the commands, the little exclamation point, waffles, and then it pops up the message that I selected, which is, I'm making waffles, because I like Shrek. So you could do all those fun things in this program, including giveaways. And what it will do is it will automatically do a raffle within your chat. You can go in and set it up ahead of time. You can set the timer for it so it only lasts for a certain amount, or you can manually do it. Either way, then you just let people know. You hype up your raffle. Hey, what we're doing is me and Gabe both went, hey, we have masterclass and we have guest passes that we can give away. And masterclass has a lot of really good writing classes. So that would be a great giveaway because, what else are we going to do? We already have the masterclass. We don't need the guest passes. We need to give these away. And we were like, hey, why not do that right now? That's right. 6 guest passes will be available to raffle as soon as it is set up, at which point the bot takes over. And that is why you want to have, all of this, the stream elements and stuff set up, because your bot is going to be your friend. Your bot is your automatic right-hand man or woman. I think the bot is gender neutral,
It's
although the
gender
bot is
neutral.
awfully sassy. The bot is a sassy non-binary. um, and the bot will help you in situations like this. It allows you to do the shout outs, but it also automatically picks a winner for the raffle that we're about to start. Woohoo!
And Writers Masterclass, we are not affiliated, sponsored, or in any way anything to do with Masterclass. Just writing and everything else in our sphere is hard. And Masterclass doesn't just have stuff on writing, it has teaching you about fashion, self confidence. And there's courses from people like James Patterson, Amy Tang, N.K. Jemisin, David Balaki on mystery and thriller writing. There is so
Mm-hmm.
much on here. We are giving you 14 free days access to that. There's also, for example, there's one literally just playing in my ears now by James Suckling on teaching wine appreciation. There's so much on here that is really useful and really interesting information. If anyone knows Ninja, the streamer, he has just released a brand new masterclass on there, becoming an iconic streamer. So there is no charge. You get 14 free days from the code. We will message you. Me and Author Goddess will just need a. We will give you a link, and you sign up, and you get 14 days free access.
So to enter that
Yeah.
raffle, you just do !raffle in the chat.
And it's
And
completely free, no catch.
yep, and we have 6 tickets to give away. So please feel free, like you can go ahead and get that. I'm going to pull this over. What I use is Streamlabs chatbot, which is the desktop version. That's why you have
Mm-hmm.
Lithambot. Otherwise, um, and in this it's called a giveaway. But otherwise, over in Stream Elements, when you're on here, you want to go into the chatbot down here, and in modules, and turn on the raffle module, and that will give you all the um, extend it down, and that gives you all the settings right here.
And
And
it may
it's,
look a bit complicated, but honestly, it's really easy.
yeah, like, duration, maximum amount. Usually it's going to be 1 or 0. Um, what your start message is, when it's running, and the end message. And it tells you what the arguments are. So you can easily get those going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same if you use Streamlabs. They have a cloud bot that's not necessarily this desktop bot. And the desktop bot is a little bit more advanced. So don't worry about getting that.
And all these bots are free. But if you want to buy a paid bot, there are loads out there. You can go on Fiverr and hire somebody to create a custom bot for you. There are so many things you can do in streaming. There is no right or wrong with any of this. This is just the things we do, because none of us have a bottomless pit of money. I really wish I did, because that would be amazing. And I think it's time to do the money dance. The money dance, the money dance.
Alrighty, let's get back on topic. Do we have any other questions?
No kidnapping Satrium. We
Yes,
all love Satrium, but no.
you're not allowed to kidnap Satrium. Satrium must be shared and treasured and pressured. Not pressured,
Yes. The Freudian slip.
Okay.
You weren't meant to tell people what we do.
We
Um,
let him out for walkies.
to let you guys know exactly how easy it is to get streaming on OBS, you go in here in your settings and there's stream, and there's one here that it says connect account. It currently says disconnect account because I'm already connected, but it'll pop up a little login thing for your Twitch credentials, and that's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
mean, on the most basic level, all of these things are literally a couple of buttons. I think the first time I used OBS, it took me a couple hours to set it up because I was actually creating graphics for my background, which you can do to varying levels.
That segues
So
really nicely into how do you get graphics?
yeah.
Canva. I mean,
Yes.
there are places you can download the freebies, but I like using Canva because it you literally set it to the parameters and then just play.
So that's how you make some. Canva is an online tool. It is free, and you can create everything from a Twitch banner to a little icon. If you don't want to make your own, there is a company called Nerd or Die who I've actually used, and they have free complete packages that you can use. And I confess, yeah, a lot of people use them, so they're not original. But you can go to Nerd or Die, and they often have a sale, like 30-40% off. And you can buy one of their packages, install, and literally click it. They actually have instructions in their packages because this is what I did, and it will automatically import all of the scenes and everything you need into them, into OBS. So it does make it really easy. But that again is if you want a particular type of style or theme. And as you can see from the kind of style we've got here, we've got a bit of writing at a bottom and a logo. You literally, that's the maximum. You don't really need more than that, and obviously a camera if you want it, or a window capture. So don't think, oh, I've got to spend hundreds of pounds or hundreds of dollars or whatever, or $30-40. You can do this for free.
Yeah, and something as simple as, you know, can in OBS itself, we have the different sources. In fact, let's cover that for a second here. Um, I'm just going to pull this up. Down here in this corner, you have your scenes and your sources. Scenes are the different things that you can, are the different layouts, is a good way of saying it. And sources are the individual elements. Like you can see here, the Zoom meeting is its own thing. The screen, um, the panel chat, those are all, each one of those is an individual thing, and you can hide them as see fit. Like I've covered up with that, and I had that somewhere. I don't know where it is. But in your sources, you have different things as well. You have the ones that you need to know most of are your first is your window capture. This is where you'll catch either your writing program, your browser, if you're using something like World Anvil or For the Words. This is the way to capture what you've got going on in your computer. That's the one that you need to know the most. And you just go in here and edit, and then your window, it'll pull up here and you can tell it what you want to capture. If you wanted to capture uh, the different windows, if you wanted to capture Chrome, which is um, then that's where you go. If you're using Word or OpenOffice or whatnot. Then we've got the other one is your browser source. Now, just because it says browser, that's not where you're going to capture your, if you're like saying doing for the words or world anvil, and that's what you're going to be showing. You're not using a browser source, you're using a window capture. A browser source is for things like Stream Elements or Streamlabs. It's a website that is giving you input. Um,
So that's how we would add in things like the alerts, where something automatically plays or has a reaction to a raid coming in or somebody doing a follow. And a lot of these systems have the pre-built stuff. So it's literally, hey, activate it. This is the sound I want. This is the image I want, kind of thing. It's super easy to do. And most things that are commonly used in streams, they're very clear about this. This is what you plug into this line to get this on your stream.
And when you first start streaming, I think one of the things also really good to cover is obviously you don't have to just stream on Twitch. We stream on Twitch, but you can stream to YouTube, Facebook, and lots of other things. I know people always ask around channel points and things like that. And I know I had questions around that and how that works with chat and things like that. You don't get that until you are an affiliate, so there are certain metrics you have to hit in Twitch to get those. But as soon as you can, that's how you do Twitch channel points, and Facebook and YouTube have their similar thing. And one thing I really wanted to cover, which I've actually just discovered, and it is really cool, is a free tool called Triggerfire. And basically, it's a tool that uses a plugin that you can install into OBS known as a WebSocket. And you can turn your channel points into things that have interactive actions on your stream. So, for example, if anyone remembers the movie Hocus Pocus, I actually have one where it says put a spell on somebody and you write their name, and then you have this song playing of I want to put a spell on you and now you're mine. So you can do so many things with it. It's free again. It's a really useful tool. There's instructions on how to use it on their website, and none of this is complicated, guys. Honestly, I really wouldn't stress about any of it. OBS is really easy, and you can just layer these things together. You're just building on top of it, and step by step. You don't have to start with the channel points because you won't if you're starting a new channel. So don't panic about it. When it comes up, it will come up.
that's more of a streaming uh,
Yeah.
panel. We'll probably do that next year. We'll do streaming 201 where you hit affiliate and you can get some of these more advanced things set up. Let's see. I just noticed something. Oh yeah, the alert. Oh, also your basic remember how we said your basic layout and whatnot? A really easy thing to do is in OBS, when you hit the little plus button for sources, there's this one here called color source. Very easy. You just do whatever you want and you can pick a color and make that you've got a big screen of that color that you can edit. You can change the width and the forgot to you can change the size of it and you can make that your background by putting it in your sources. What's on top, it's the layers, and then what's on bottom is in the background. So make sure you like shove that all the way to the bottom. And then there's also a text GDI where see that thing down at the bottom of the screen where it says Panel Streaming 101, that's just a text bar. That's not a graphic. And it allows you to use any font that's on your computer. So between those two there, you can make a really kick-ass layout without having to go get graphics. Very simple. That's one of the things that you might want to also realize is that sometimes simple can be an advantage over a very busy layout, especially with writing. If you're doing writing sprints and stuff like that, you might not want to have all the dingly things and whatnot. Although sometimes it's nice to have something interactive. I usually have stream avatars running at the bottom of my screen. Oh, talk about cropping a source. That is a good idea. Once more, hi OBS. When you're in a source, and I'm going to do this on non-studio mode because y'all can see how this works. If you're on a PC, if you're on a Mac, I don't know how to do this except for the long way. If you hold down the Alt key and take a chunk off of whatever your source is, or you can go in and filters, add a filter, and there's one called crop pad. Do that, and you can easily adjust how you want it to be, even by individual pixels. Yes, the Alt key is a godsend if you're on a PC. On a Mac, I don't know what it is. I was working with Amanda Panda with her Mac settings. If you're on a Mac, I will put this PSA out right now. You need to go into your security settings, and there's a security setting for in the privacy settings for screen recordings, and you have to approve OBS to get screen recordings, otherwise you will not be able to capture any of your windows. This was something we ran in last night. If you're having issues with anything, Google is your friend. Go to Google, literally just type the sentence of what you're having issue with, and it will probably pull up something. Like literally, we couldn't get her browser sources to work, so I just pulled up Mac, browser source, OBS, and boom, it pulled up, and we found out, oh yeah, we have to go into here.
Honestly,
Yeah.
most of the things I'd say in OBS, sometimes there can be some really weird things that just happen with technology. And you can just Google it, and it will pretty much give you the answer. Uh, YouTube is also a really good resource. I know I've watched YouTube videos on OBS. I know when I first started, like we've just shown filters. I like filters can get really advanced. You can use LUTs, Utes, and crop your camera so it's a particular shape. You can do Chrome keys to blur out your background. You can do so many things, but as we said, it's like a house of cards. You can build the foundation, you can go as high or as low as you want. There's no wrong answer, and make it your brand. Just because somebody's got all these fancy transitions and what they call stingers, in the sense of these things that come across the screen, doesn't mean you have to have it.
Oh, you know what? We haven't had a break.
We have 1 minute until the break, so I suppose in that 1 minute, do we have any questions? There are no silly questions. That's the thing I will say, especially with streaming. We as dragons will sit in our little command center, and you'll be amazed some of the questions we ask each other. Like, how do we do this? I can't remember, especially at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, like earlier, it's like, how do I get an OAuth token? Oh, it's steering me at the fate. Generate OAuth. I literally asked like 5 different people, and then finally I noticed under the little thing where it said it, it's like generate token, and I'm like, I'm an idiot.
There are no promises made at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yes.
or if there are, they will all be broken.
Alrighty, so it is 9:15. I'm going to go ahead and do break time, and we will see you back shortly.
See you all soon, guys.
And we are back.
Hey, hey.
We have a question from Writer Lee for games.
Ooh.
How do you get that avatar to work?
So I use a free bit of software. It's completely free.
Eat your mic.
Called. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
There we go. Sorry. So I use a bit of free software called Animes by Face Rig. It's completely free. You do need a webcam, obviously. Well, actually, no, sorry, I lie. You don't necessarily need a webcam. You do if you want it to track you like mine's doing. Like if I move and wobble my head, my avatar moves. But if you literally just want it to just sit there like that, then and the lips won't move, um, then you can do that. It's called Animes. I'll put a link in chat. It's completely free. It's powered via Steam. And it's great. You can change your avatar. So, to give you an idea, I am currently a custom character that I had made, but I could be a shark, would be an example. So, bear with it while it just loads. Um, it does use CPU and GPU to do bits, so just bear that in mind when you are using it. That obviously you do need a little bit of capacity to be able to kind
Yeah,
of
yours
render
just
images.
froze.
The image should have frozen because I'm changing avatars, but you should still be able to hear me. There you go. So I am now a shark. Rawr! Um, I can be there, and these are just presets. I could be a little kitty cat, which is just loading. So I can be a cute little kitty cat. Hello. Um, my name is Meowth. Say hi. I can be a little penguin. The penguin is one of my favorites. Like,
That is so cute.
hello. My name is Penguin. Um, and you can do a lot of different things. So you can add props. You can add. So do you know where we did the money rain dance? That's how you do that. That is actually known as a emote, and you can do a silly dance. So one of the things we were messing about while you guys were off stream is you can do a chicken dance with your with your character. So let's just watch a penguin do a chicken dance. So that is a penguin doing a chicken dance. So you can do a lot with the software. It's completely free, and yeah, that's how you do that.
So, one of the things we hadn't actually covered yet was how to get your audio settings set in OBS because they're usually off by default. And you go into your settings and you go down here to audio and then see where it has all of your global audio devices. That is where you're going to um, turn your audios on and off. Mine says voice meter output because I use something called voice meter to have multiple inputs and outputs that I can mix and match and put wherever I want to make it easier. So my music's going in one thing and my and the voice chat goes in a different one so I can have both set at different levels and whatnot. But that's more advanced. Don't worry about it.
But for mic, you literally will see a thing saying mic auditory audio. Click that, select your microphone, and it will set it globally. If you want to set where your sound will come out from, so like music, that is your desktop audio, and you can do that across multiple different settings. And then obviously there's 1, 2, and 3. You can get complicated with adding mixers in, stream decks, all these kind of things. But literally just to get started and have your microphone set as default so you don't have to keep adding it as a source to every single scene is mic,
Yep.
auditory, audio, select your microphone, and you are done. Literally, job done. while we're actually on microphone and we're actually on that topic, there is actually a couple of things I would really recommend in terms of filters, which are really basic and easy to do with your sound. So sound can be a little bit tinny at times, and obviously you can have noise around you and things like that. So there are a couple of filters you can add, which is noise gate, a gain if you're too quiet, and a compressor if you're too loud. And there's also one which is a noise suppression, and that will suppress clicks, clacks, and again that can either run on your CPU or your GPU, and you'll see that under filters and audio/video filters,
Yeah, you
and you
can
can add those.
down it on your audio mixer. You can click this little gearbox down here, the little gear, and you want to go to filters and then hit the plus sign. And then here's all your different ones: your compressor, expander, gain, limiter, noise suppression, noise gate. Noise gate is the one that you want to eliminate like the quiet sounds like keyboard clacking. Um, and things like that. I don't have mine turned on because I used something different for the noise gate. Do you have any other questions?
Oh,
Otherwise,
we should probably go over setting up your sound so that you have the monitor versus output thing. Um, so essentially, if you go into your sound settings, every single input that you have, you can set to monitor, you can set to output, or I think it's either monitor, output, or muted. I think, or monitor and output. Either way, if you want to be able to hear the sound, then you want to have it on monitor. If you just want it to go out without you actually hearing it, then you want it on the output only. And if you don't want something to have sound, then you mute it. That's pretty much the rundown.
question: what equipment is essential versus non-essential for those with a small budget? Okay, the first thing that I would do that is very important is a good mic. Um, if you're going to spend your money anywhere, spend your money on a good quality mic because that can make or break your stream.
Audio is 70% of anything. People will put up with something looking bad, but sounding bad. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And
And you can get a really good mic for like 20, $30. So we're
some
not talking
headphone,
about,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we're not talking about breaking the bank here.
We're
We're
just
not
talking.
talking go out and buy a DSLR microphone as your first microphone. You can buy a Blue Yeti, a snowball microphone. Um, I have a Blue Yeti X, which in UK pounds was about £80. You can get the Snowball, which is like the literally just one below it, and it works really well. My parents use it for all of their calls, and that I think is about £30. So that's probably about $40.
And to hear the difference, let me mess with this here. So you can tell the difference between this is my headset mic. I'm currently using that because it's easy for me to mute and unmute because it's got a thing up on my headphones. But
Testing 1, 2, 3. This is my Samsung mic, and it has other things, and you can probably tell. I can't hear it, but you can probably tell the difference between the two mics.
To give you a bit more of a drastic example, and I would always avoid using the microphones on webcams. So my camera is a webcam. This microphone is my Blue Yeti. Let me just change my microphone to the webcam. Hi guys, how are you?
No more bedroom voice.
The problem with
It is pretty terrible, isn't it?
yeah. The problem with webcam mics is they will pick up everything in the room. They will pick up the echo, they will pick up all the sort of stuff, and you could probably use a bunch of filters to make it sound halfway decent, but I'd rather just spend, you know, some cash on a decent mic and go from there.
And to go back to the mute button thing, that is invaluable to streamers, especially if you have roommates, spouses, children, significant others, random lawnmowers. Yeah, you want to be able to mute.
Now you can use certain things to mute. You can actually mute your mic and stuff through OBS and set up hotkeys. I showed it earlier, but when you're in those audio settings, if you scroll down, there's a whole thing that says hotkeys, and you can enable push to mute or push to talk. They're not a toggle, but it's a hold this down and you're muted, which that could be invaluable. I prefer having a toggle on and off rather than a um, hold down push to talk type thing.
Yeah. And when you have OBS open, any source that you have that has a microphone, you can actually set it up so you see the soundboard aspect, so it shows every audio source, and you can mute those individually as well, which is really handy if you have a cool video that also has sound, but you don't want the sound, but you do want the video.
We have a
I
question. What Samsung mic do you use? I don't use a Samsung mic,
No,
so.
I do.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, hon, do you remember what our mic is? What our mic that we got was? Okay. It was I got mine several years ago. And it was in a podcasting case that came with the stand, the housing unit. Um, if you're going to have it like on your desk, having one of these floating mounts is very important because if you bump your table, your mic won't pick that up.
In
It's
all
like
honesty, I'd recommend a microphone arm.
yeah,
I do that, and it clips on the side of your desk. To literally just Google it. The one I bought was £23.
the boom
You
arms.
can get them for £12, £7 on Amazon. Um, I will post a link to. It will be a UK Amazon, but I will post a link in chat to the one I use, and it works amazing.
Yeah. Get what works for your desk because sometimes one of the pay attention to the points of articulation. My husband just got a boom for his mic and he absolutely loves it because that's how you can get it in and that, and they're actually not that expensive. I'll probably eventually be getting one, especially once I start streaming more again. Okay, we have a question. Does anyone here have experience with stream decks? I do not think I do. What
I
is
have
that?
some experience with them. I don't know about you, Orthogonis.
I am familiar with them. I do not have one, nor have I actually used one, but I know how they work.
Oh, the little panel things. Oh,
Yeah,
those can be nice.
yeah. Essentially, it's hotkeys at your fingertips.
Yeah, I actually have I don't have one of the external ones. I don't know if it still works or not, but I had one that was a virtual one using my iPad. I
Yeah, you can use
believe
your phone. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
yeah, your phone. There are apps for your smart devices that can control OBS. So you can basically have a Stream Deck using your phone or iPad or whatever. Just do a search on those for OBS, and I think it's like OBS controller. I don't know if it still works or not.
We
What
have
would you
another
consider?
question.
Yeah. What would you consider the most essential quality of life improvements for your stream? Efficiency, reducing headaches, etc. Um,
Wireless headphones.
you want to use headphones because if you're using speakers, your mic will pick it up. It will, like that, reduce headaches. It'll reduce echo on your stream. Getting wireless ones means that if you happen to get up and go do something, you're not getting yanked back like I used to do. I would get on break and I would get up and walk around and I go yoink and half my desk would go flying.
I can go anywhere in my house, which includes bio breaks, and still at least have some degree of monitoring of my stream while I'm doing that.
Yeah. It's games, I think you're muted. I see your mouth moving. But
Sorry, I would say the big reduction for headaches in terms of streaming and quality is obviously, yeah, I would say headphones really useful. I absolutely would echo that beyond. The other thing I would say is making life easy in terms of just setup. So things like Nerd or Die, where they do it all for you. You pay 30 quid, you import it, and your entire stream set up. A bot like Stream Elements or Streamlabs that can auto moderate your channel in terms of filtering links out, filtering um, interesting people who use descriptive language, um, and all those kind of things. I would say those are real good headache reducers because it would be remiss of us to say, this is the internet. There are trolls, but they are few and far between. So don't panic about that. I know a lot of people had questions about that, and that's why we touched on it in the opening ceremony. But it is something that's fairly easy to deal with, and having just thinking about it ahead of time. So just having a bot, understanding how commands work in Twitch. So what forward slashes you can do, like announcement, ban, delete, poll, etc. All these kind of things. What actually is out there? I would say for me, just that knowledge piece is the biggest efficiency that helps you. So, for example, you want to mod somebody, yeah, you can go under creator dashboard, you can go under community, you can then go into role manager, you can then find their username, or you could literally just go forward slash mod and type their name in chat, and it will do it. So, there's just little hacks like that.
are we?
Yeah, probably the best thing that you can do for your streaming future is literally start streaming. Having the experience, having the experience of actually doing the thing and building on that experience over time is literally the best thing you can do.
Watch one, and honestly, watch one or two YouTube videos, and you can be a pro. Like, this is not, Pythagoras theorem, um,
We're
or
not just making it look easy, it actually kind of is.
Yeah, it's a lot easier now because it used to be way back in the day you had to go get specific live stream keys and do this and do that and have to jump through hoops, but now OBS just has log in with your Twitch account and boom, you're done. And it'll do that stuff. We do have a question. Is a desktop setup necessary for streaming? No, it is not. I know several people who actually stream from their laptops. And some of the people they stream from their laptops. It's not necessarily the best in, and they may not necessarily have the best in connection, but I love being in their streams because they're amazing to talk to. They're amazing to watch work. Um, they're helpful and insightful.
to
Uh,
quote X2 Shoes, a really famous streamer. The most important thing for Streaming 101 is not technology, is not what you can buy, it's you. People are coming to your channel for you. They want to hear you. They want to hear your story. They want your personality. They want your delicious voice. They want that different aspects. There's a little bit of a pun there that last year I won an award for my voice. So there's just an inside joke.
Oh, we do have a stretch redemption, so let us stretch.
Oh, everything's now going to click.
Oh, crack! Crack! Oh!
Oh, okay, yep, my back just clicked.
Oh,
And we
now I
even
need a
just took a
chiropractor.
break, so having things like that are great.
That's a
Yeah.
really good example of things to do. Having stretches, having,
Oh,
VIP commands. Remember to make your stream engaging, engage with the chat. Make if somebody raids you, if somebody subscribes, if they follow, I don't care what you're doing, even if you're in the middle of a game and you're about to die, stop what you're doing and acknowledge the person and say, "Hey, welcome into chat." If they're a new chatter, "Hey, welcome in," and you will build a community. The thing about streaming is, people are coming for you. They could not care if you've got these fancy transitions or this, particular type of font. They don't care. They come for you.
they come for you and the community that you build. And it will take a while. That's why it's really great to have something like the Twitch Writers Network or the Anvilite Streamer community or any of those where you can immediately get seen by a lot of people and start building up your community. Um, let's see. Oh, the other thing, quality of life. Get a drink. Get a drink. Have it on your desk and hydrate while you are streaming because you're going to be
Yeah.
talking a lot. Your mouth is going to get dry and you need to keep doing it. And you don't always want to have to go get up and go refill it because if you do that, you're not going to drink enough.
And if you don't, you will get a headache. So bear in mind, for streaming, some of the fundamentals is lighting, good lighting. You need to be well lit. You need to have good audio, so a decent microphone. You've got these lights shining in your eyes. Normally, what they should be, or what the standard is 45 degrees from the center of your face. You should have two. And if you want to be really pro, you can have a ring light. Again, these are things you can do. You don't have to do it. You could just have a bedroom light on, but you can get these stream lights if you want to do it. But regardless, you're going to have lights. You've got stimulus. You've got your uh, desktop screen on. Turn on night mode. Turn off that blue light to try and help your eyes. Have a drink. Just remember, look after yourself because you really do.
Okay, for my well lit setup, I have an LED desktop lamp that is actually set a little too bright, but pointed to the wall so that it diffuses off of the wall. And that's why I actually am this pale. That's why I always look this pale. But no, that's how I get my lighting just right. Because if it's directly shining on me, it washes me out too much.
Yeah, and I actually have two. I have the Razer Kyo that has the light built into it, and sometimes that washes me out really bad. But I have an light for my crafts. I yanked it in here and then I pull it because I've got the green screen behind me and I have it, on that and that gets the diffuse light. Sometimes you don't want the light directly on you. You want it kind of around you. But play around with it. And if all you have is the lighting in your room, then that's fine. You know,
And
it's
if people want to know about lights, I've just put a link to the lights I've got. They're £88. You can control the level of the lights by percentage. And as we said, 75 degrees, but this is like 102. Like you do not need this. You literally just could have a ceiling light, Okay, you're not going to be the best well lit, and the video quality, because bear in mind the way cameras work, more light you can give them, the better your video is going to look.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it, so
Like,
don't let it be a barrier.
this is my camera with light. This is what it's like without it. It still works. Now, you may not see me as clearly, it's a little darker, but it still works. If you have a good quality webcam, it'll pull it through. If you have a lesser janky webcam, um, lighting might be more helpful, but you don't have to have a super expensive webcam.
You do not need a camera or this DSLR microphone to have a good camera. My camera that I use normally, obviously, I'm currently using a piece of software, so it doesn't make a massive difference, but again, it does with the tracking. I have a Logitech Biro. It's about £100, and that will do everything. That is 4K. You do not need to go and buy a 2 grand camera that you see some streamers using and plug that in with a capture card and all this kind of thing. And sometimes you don't even need a webcam. Like Satrim said, you could just use your phone.
User.
Um, we have 10 minutes before the next stream set starts, so we should probably do the.
Do the raffle.
Ah, yes. Okay. So, first up,
Last chance to get in, I suppose, if you haven't got in. Exclamation point raffle. It's free. We're giving away 6 passes to the masterclass, which is a software which you can get all sorts of talks with loads of famous people.
go ahead and close it. I already got you in, Daz. Okay. So we have SL Funk. Woohoo!
Yay!
Woo! Well done, SL Font. You're the first winner of 6.
All right. Have Dazzlecat! Yay! But
Yay!
yes, SL Funk, you got one. Because we have 6 passes to give away. Ryder Lee, you have one now. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And E. Armstrong. Awesome. And believe it or not, nobody else entered. So we have pretty much if you entered, you won.
Yay! Everybody's a winner!
So Author Goddess will send one to the last winner. I've sent it to everybody else, and you're done.
Alrighty. And don't forget, if you have any questions, just message us. We're all
Feel
over the
free to come
place.
into our Discord. The Writers CONduit Discord. There is a help desk. You can ask questions. There's also a panel planning. If you want to get involved in Writers CONduit, definitely reach out. Any problems for Writers CONduit, anything you need at all, come and hook us up.
Yes, and I've got my own Discord for my Benorian Chronicles, which is what I work on in my streams, unless I'm gaming. But feel free to join that as well.
Which I can highly recommend. I love.
And I guess that is it. We've got some links posted up. Those links are also on um, the treasure trove. Somebody have a link to that real quick?
Actually, yes.
There we go.
Clicking between windows, that's the biggest thing.
Yep.
All right.
Said all right at the same time, Jinx. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you have any further questions, you know what?
Yeah.
Ask in the help desk.
We'll see you all soon, guys. Stay
All right.
safe.
Bye bye.